NBCSports.com, Now Pro Football Talk. We're picking up very credible indications that Kirk Cousins is planning a potential move of his family from Minnesota to Atlanta. Obviously, that is massive because Kirk Cousins, free agent quarterback, Atlanta potentially looking for a quarterback.
That there's an effort to look for maybe schools for the kids, house for the family, up to and including, I haven't confirmed this part yet, but it's just one of those little things that makes sense. You know, talking to the guy who currently wears number 8, Kyle Pitts, about getting number 8.
The Atlanta Falcons have a big quarterback question coming up this offseason. Do they continue to ride it out with Desmond Ridder, or do they go into the NFL draft looking to add some more talent, or do they go the easiest direction and bring in a quarterback from free agency or a trade like a guy like Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins? There's a lot of talent out here this season if you're looking for a quarterback, and the Atlanta Falcons need one at the perfect time. Now, we're going to talk about in this video Kirk Cousins and why he is currently favored outside of the Vikings to bring in Kirk Cousins this season. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fit. Now, the fit would be perfect here in Atlanta. Now, listen, the one thing we have to worry about is obviously the Vikings should be in the mix to re-sign Cousins. However, if he does leave, the Falcons are the perfect spot under new offensive coordinator Zach Robinson, who also worked under Sean McVay in LA. Now, it works well for Cousins in both the play action and the drop back passing game. Now, before Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles in week 8, he was on pace for a historic, a career season under, his belt, right? He was completing 69.5 of his throws. He had 18 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions, and he would be a major upgrade for the Atlanta Falcons offense with young, talented guys in Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and oh yeah, let's not forget Bijan Robinson. Now, I do know there's a lot of complications when trying to bring in Kirk Cousins. I mean, for one, he's coming off that injury, which you never want to see an injury at his age, coming off a torn Achilles, right? That's number one. We don't know if Minnesota is going to get rid of him. In just a second, I'm going to show you a clip about, Mike Florio speaking about the Minnesota Vikings potentially wanting to bring him back, but also there's a standpoint of, there's all these rumors swirling around. Is Kirk Cousins trying to buy a home in Atlanta? Is he trying to find a school for his kids in Atlanta? All of these little tidbits are actually true. Now, I'll tell you why they're, sort of true, right? His wife, Julia, is from the area. She grew up there. She wants to be there. And for her, she wants to stay in Minnesota or be in Atlanta. So what I'm thinking right now is if there's a chance of him leaving Minnesota, I feel like there's only one team that could grab Kirk Cousins and maybe even get a hometown discount for him as well, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, comment down below really quickly, what do you think about the Falcons potentially getting Kirk Cousins? I know it's not the most amazing thing in the world because of the injury, because of the age, and because of the short-term fix, but Atlanta has a lot of the things that you want in a contender in the defense, the playmakers up front. We'll talk a little bit about the defense in a second, but I real quickly want to show you a little clip from Mike Florio discussing what's going to happen in Minnesota.
I firmly believe, and we asked Kevin O'Connell this when he was on PFT Live with us from the Scouting Combine last week, do you want Kirk Cousins? Unequivocally, unconditionally, do you want him? And he said, yes, I want him. The question is, do others in the organization feel the same way? Have they applied a number to Kirk Cousins and they're content to sit back and see whether or not he takes it? And if he doesn't, they'll move on to plan B. And this is where it becomes interesting for the front office and ownership, Pat, because if one plane is taken off, you better be damn sure another plane is landing.
Now, the one thing about Atlanta last season was they had a pretty good defense, right? Their defense is really deep. They have a lot of guys that are really starting to break out here on the defensive side of the football. They're also one of the best running games in the NFL. Where they struggled the most was passing the football, right? They ranked number 26th overall in terms of points per game. But look at this, right? They were number 28th, almost dead last in completion percentage. Number 25 in pass attempts per game, number 22 in passing yards per game, number 28, almost dead last again in interception thrown percentage, and number 21 in sack percentage as well. The pass offense was nothing, right? Now, real quickly, before we break down Kirk Cousins and why he would be such a good fit, as well as his career path and how good he's been over his career, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get this video out to as many Falcons fans as possible. If we get this video up to 200 likes, I will continue to post Falcons videos throughout the entirety of the offseason, keeping you guys updated with everything you need to know. But also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything. And like I said, I'm going to be here keeping you guys updated throughout the deadest point of the offseason, which is right now, right? If you guys want to be updated, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Now, one really interesting fact about Kirk Cousins is throughout 2016 and 2017, Kirk Cousins became the first quarterback in NFL history to be franchise tagged in consecutive years, right? And then after 2017, he ended up going here to Minnesota, where he was a really good quarterback, signed a 3-year, $84 million contract that was first fully guaranteed, and as of the signing, he was the highest paying contract in NFL history. Obviously, that continues to change as the cap goes up, but Kirk Cousins at one point was one of the best quarterbacks in football. In 2018, when he signed to the Vikings, he finished his first year in Minnesota with over 4,200 yards, just shy of that 4,300 yard mark, 30 touchdowns to just 10 interceptions to go along with 123 rushing yards and a touchdown as well. And he was ranked as 78th as one of the best 100 players in the NFL. And then he had his first playoff win in 2019, right? So another good year back-to-back, and then 2020 was a year where he finished, again, 4,200 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions to go along with another rushing touchdown as well. And then you look at 2022, or 2021, I'm sorry, another Pro Bowl, his third Pro Bowl appearance was amazing. 2022, the NFC North title, another Pro Bowl selection. This man has been insane, right? And then we move on to 2023. Now, in 2023, like we said earlier in the video, Kirk Cousins was on pace to absolutely demolish his records, right? He was throwing 69.5% completion percentage, over 2,300 yards in just 8 games, 18 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. Kirk Cousins was on an unbelievable pace, and the Falcons could get him for cheap coming off this injury. And lastly, check out BetUS, guys. It is my favorite sportsbook on the market. You can bet on where Kirk Cousins is going to go. If I was you, I would bet on he's going to go with the Falcons, right? Just because the Vikings are, even talking about getting rid of Justin Jefferson at this point. And if they get rid of Justin Jefferson, they already got rid of Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is not going to stay, right? And the Falcons are the biggest, the best, and the greatest fit for him going forward. Go check out BetUS, live sportsbook, regular casino, horse racing. They have everything, and they gave away Super Bowl tickets this season. I'm just I'm excited to see what they do next. Go use my promo code in the description. They'll match first deposit. But let's get into Kirk Cousins. Now, I do have one more very interesting fact about this man right here and what he could bring to Atlanta. Could be fun, man. Now, he does hold 3 NFL records, or at least tied with a couple of them, right? Now, the first one being he has the most game-winning drives in a single season. 8 game-winning drives in just 1 year is insane. Some even call him the comeback kid, right? Most fourth-quarter comebacks in a single season. 8. Right? So not only does he have the most game-winning drives, the most fourth-quarter comebacks in a single season, but also has the largest comeback in NFL history with a 33-point deficit. Kirk Cousins knows how to play football late in games. He is clutch. He knows where to throw the football. And, another big thing about him is he has great chemistry with his wide receivers. So just think about what this team could be with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, a brand new coach, Raheem Morris. Guys, Kirk Cousins could change everything for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if you guys think the trio of, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, but also adding Kirk Cousins to that would be a dream fit for the Falcons going into next season, comment down below the number 1. Now, comment down below the number 2 if you guys stayed to the very, very end of the video. And, I am excited. If the Falcons are able to somehow land Kirk Cousins for cheap or just get him onto the team for next season, I think it would be huge, right? Their defense was actually pretty solid last year. The main issue was that the offense was turning over the ball way too much, and the defense was just continuing to get tired and tired and tired. So I feel like the defense, even adding Kirk Cousins, helps the defense, helps the passing game. And right when you get the passing game going, that's going to open up the ground game as well, right? So not only does adding Kirk Cousins benefit Bijan, but it also benefits Drake London, Kyle Pitts, the entire offense, and it helps out the defense as well. They had a top 10 pass defense. They had, at times a top 10 rush defense. Kirk Cousins would even make them better because they would be able to stay on the field longer or the defense would be able to stay on the bench longer. And the offense, I'm telling you, they're going to be able to score some points if Kirk Cousins comes to Atlanta. Comment down below the number 1 if you agree. Comment down below number 2 if you stay to the very end. Subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.